Rousey versus Carano. Now, in case you weren't aware, that was not a lawsuit, okay? But we do have two main gladiators. They stepped into the arena, the octagon, as it's called in the sport of MMA. Now, I grew up watching the Rocky movies. Now I watch the Creed movies. Then there's Raging Bull, which is kind of a meditation on the battles we fight in life outside the arena, and life is a battle. Now, that's the metaphor. Jake LaMotta had to make moral compromises just to get his title bout. Remember that? How he wept because he had to throw a fight to make money for the promoters before he got his shot at the world title. Then he lost control of his anger, the rage that had fueled his rise to the top of the sports world, causing him to lose everything at the end of his career and into retirement. But at the end of the film, he started to get his mojo back. He discovered that what had made him a champion was still there, and the film ends with the Bible verse. So, for the second time, the Pharisees summoned the man who had been blind and said, "Speak the truth before God. We know this fellow is a sinner." "Whether or not he is a sinner, I do not know," the man replied. "All I know is this: once I was blind, now I see." Now, rather, I should say, who had made Jake LaMotta a champion was still there. Hallelujah. Now, the character of Jake LaMotta had lived his life like a man born blind. Now, at the end of his life, and I don't want to sound moralistic, but toward the end, he was in a jail cell. Remember that? Pre-trial detention, to be technical about it. And we know that everyone who's detained pre-trial eventually has to go to trial. Has to. Unless the case is dismissed. Nolli prosequi. Now, the entire process, especially detention, accelerates the process of learning. That's how it's designed. And sometimes, as God did for Jake LaMotta, he opened his eyes so that he could see. It was in pre-trial detention that Jake LaMotta began to see. And so, the Rocky movies, the Creed movies, and Raging Bull are fight movies, but they're also about redemption. Now, watching Rousey versus Carano, it was over in 17 seconds. The ref stopped the fight and called it for Ronda Rousey. Now, I was so thankful he stopped the fight. I did not want catastrophic injuries because it's a real fight, not fictionalized. Now, these women are both champions. The fight announcers told a bit about their life stories and their journey to the octagon. Now, Ronda Rousey, an Olympic bronze medalist in judo, was fighting for her family. She wanted to come through unscathed for them. Now, Gina Carano, a movie star for many years, had lost her health. She was pre-diabetic and dropped 100 pounds for the fight. So she was already redeemed as she found herself again, she said. Now, Ronda Rousey was interviewed before the fight. They asked, was she willing to break Gina Carano's arm if she would not submit? And Ronda Rousey said she would do what had to be done. So that in itself caused me to want to tune in. Now, people can say, well, it's the attention economy. Yes, it is. But that's what a trial is, for example, a public trial, as the Constitution guarantees. Now, if the process is fair in a public trial, it instills confidence in the system and ultimately makes redemption possible. Now, the fighters have to be treated fairly. That's the case in the legal system as well. And here, both fighters received a purse because they're women of character, okay? We want to watch them. Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, because of their strong character. Now, they've had to prove themselves just to get to that point. We don't question their character, and they did not disappoint. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.